Hey. Welcome back. Porn for the Heart. Brought to you by Men Becoming Men. You can find us on the Facebook page, Men Becoming Men, webpage by the same name. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you guys being here. We'll jump into something here. I think some of us might be able to relate to this. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any really interactive comment section on a website. And there's a host of other sites that would fall into this category. But really, when that term is used, those sites I mentioned are really what is conjured up in one's mind. And I want to address many of us out there that spend time on social media, and really even those that don't spend time on it. First, for those that do spend time on it, I encourage you to let it become porn for you. But porn for the heart. Don't let it become some real porn media for us. Heaven knows there is plenty of that out there. And don't let it become porn for our mind either. Dragging us into places we don't want to go, making us say or do things we probably wouldn't normally say. I've always said that if you can't say what you did to someone online, in person, then don't say it online. And please, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying instead of watching what you say online, you should instead develop something inside of you that gives you the ability to say in person what you would say online. No, quite the contrary. My real hope is that we start to recognize what is good for ourselves. Now, I want to stop here and make it perfectly clear. I'm not saying we need to stop doing things because of someone else or for someone else. I'm not saying we need to temper our speech to protect someone else or in the name of decency or anything like that. What I'm really hoping is that we examine ourselves, our true inner self and its desires and wants, and decide if what we are doing is truly what is making us happy. And don't think for a second that we all truly know what makes us happy or that we do it. We just don't. Some do, but most do not. So this is about us, but each of us singularly. This thing about social media, let's have it stop being porn for our mind and start making it porn for our heart. And I've said it before, but I'll be happy to say it again. Having us operate from a heart-based perspective in our lives is not about turning men into girls. It's not about suddenly crying about everything. And it's not even just about having the world now be rainbows and lollipops. Very simply put, it's about our inner peace and happiness versus inner turmoil, nervousness, stress, anxiety, unhappiness, and everything that comes with those things. I beg of us men, and women too, but although I'd really like to address this to the men in the group especially, to not stake claim to those issues as if they were some badge of honor that one gender should cling. There is absolutely nothing manly about stress and unhappiness. And there's most definitely nothing unmanly about peace and happiness. Fighting and wars are easy to start. Then they cascade into sometimes endless misery, despair, hurt, pain, and death. Figuratively, literally, and metaphorically. Peace and love, depending on your starting point towards these attributes, may seem daunting to achieve, but once we have them and know how to live in them, life is beautiful, and it's the same for all around us. And the great part, the only true way to achieve peace and love in our life is to go get it for our life, no one else's. We must get it for ourselves first, and then realize we are the only one we can get it for. Everyone else must get it for themselves. All we can do is live it and be it in our life. And this is where social media comes into play for us today. I mean, are we allowing social media to be porn for our mind? That same mind which takes the things it sees and reads and immediately starts to pass judgments, make generalizations, start to try to protect itself, prove its worth, show why it's right and you were wrong? Or are we going to make it porn for the heart, see the good in things, find love in all things, step away and or back away from those things that aren't? Now, I could give us countless examples of the non-loving reactions that social media elicits in some people, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or some news site message board. But to be honest, I don't really feel like coming up with those examples. Even in the name of citing examples for this podcast, I don't feel like subjecting myself to the negativity that abounds here. The amount of people truly going against themselves and what they truly want, and what for? I mean, what are they doing? To prove their point? To try to be funny? To tear down another person? To try to make themselves look good? And seriously, does that comment, that post, that picture, that reaction truly do any of those things? Is it truly necessary for our inner happiness for us to go out and make a point or defend our position to absolutely anyone? If someone believes the world is flat, then so be it. If it makes them happy, that's great. And it truly is irrelevant what I think science says about it. If I believe it is round, then great. What isn't great is when I am so insecure with myself and my own position, with my own answer, with my own life, with my own self-worth, that I think I have to prove or convince anyone else, including this other person, that they are wrong. They aren't wrong, and neither am I. If it's what they believe, then their belief is correct to them. And that's where their inner happiness comes. And mine comes from me. And neither of them come from someone else's or from someone else telling me how to live or act or what is right or wrong for me. And if their belief is too much for me to handle, it's okay to walk away. Step away. Turn it off. Close the laptop. Close the computer. Put your phone down. There is fear in the world or there is love. It's that simple. Phobias are fear, which is an absence of love. Doesn't matter which one. Hate is fear. It's an absence of love. Doesn't matter what we hate or what definition we attach to it, and it doesn't even matter our reason. It's an absence of love. Am I saying we shouldn't have fear in our life? I mean, I hope that we won't and don't, but most of us do to some shape or fashion. My real prayer, though, is that we work to move towards love in all things that we do. Don't treat social media as a tool of fear. Not yours, and not to promote someone else's, or to try to trigger someone else's. Which means we don't feed the mind this. Feed the heart. And here are some suggestions. These are straight from personal experience, too, folks. I'm not placing blame or pointing fingers. No way. This all comes from me and my life. I was involved in politics. I commented on everything. I was also hypocritical, mean and lacking in love, sympathy, and compassion. And you know what? I was miserable. But boy, oh boy, I was right in my own mind. Until I realized I wasn't, and I realized I was miserably unhappy. And it was. The choice is each one of ours. The choice was mine for me. The choice is yours for you. So now we can address everyone, including those that maybe don't participate in social media at all, for whatever the reason. And obviously, I'm not saying anyone is wrong. But there is some porn for the heart on social media if we choose to make it so. I like to think that Men Becoming Men, which sponsors Porn for the Heart, is helping to contribute to the positive, loving vibration that shows the beautiful side of social media. And this is just one of many sites. But many times, we need to look no further than our own friends and family. Something I personally did, and I've kept up with it. I have not mentioned on social media our current president or our former president or presidents. I have not mentioned former candidates, their wives, their children, their misgivings, or anything related. In addition, for repeat offenders on my friends list or whatever site you're on, I unfollow them. I keep them as friends because they are friends. I do still love them, but I cannot have their feeds, their views, their thoughts clutter mine and the life I am trying to lead. I'm sorry, I just can't. I don't need to tell them either. I don't need to voice my opinion. I don't need to do that. All I need to do is take care of myself. I don't visit NBC News or MSNBC, Fox, or any other news site, nor do I call them fake news or faux news or whatever the favorite buzzword is of the day. Now, I still can't help but read some responses from people. I admit it. On certain sites and posts. But the moment I feel my heart start racing or maybe an inclination on my part to tell them how they are wrong or speak my point of view, I back away. I've actually written many responses, but now instead of posting them, I reread them, pause, and feel if it's a necessary response. Did that person ask for a response or ask for help of some sort? And you know what? I've deleted almost all of them. Does that make me weak now? I mean, am I weak now? Do I now back down in the heat of battle? What battle? I'm not at war. And most importantly, I'm not at war with myself, and I'm most definitely not going to create a war. And what for? Again, what? To prove my point? I am right, and I am perfect. Right now, in who I am. No one can take that from me, and I'm happy where I am. Maybe to some others, I'm stupid, naive, lost, or whatever, but to me, I feel great. I hope that for all of you, for everyone, that you feel great. I mean, you've tuned in, so I take that as you at the very least wishing to hear what I have to say. But I'm not trying to ram this down your throat. I believe what I believe, and you believe what you do. But you've come to hear my thoughts, and I'm always willing to share more and to hear your opinions, but without debate. Let's not debate about it. We want to talk back and forth? Great. Send me messages. Let's talk. Social media is a beautiful place for sharing. Can it be a place for something else? Only if you let it. Only if you let it. Consider your own course of action. I mean, make social media a place that feeds your heart, that helps you grow, that makes you feel better. And let us know. Come back to us. Let us know how you do that. What's your way of doing it? Look, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Porn for the Heart, brought to you by Men Becoming Men. Always happy to have you guys here. Look forward to it. Messages, comments, always welcome. Till next time, see you guys.